I'm very humbled to be here, very grateful for all the kind words that my friends uttered up there. You know, I didn't have it, like most of you, I'm sure, I didn't have a chance to see this ahead of time. Seeing Amanda was an emotional thing. We, I think, spent 8,000 hours on television together, which pales in comparison to what Bill and Debbie have done together, but it was a long time, and I miss her and love her. I'm grateful for the opportunity to have worked for as long as I have in this great city with so many good and talented people at Channel 5. Heck, I'm thankful for the simple things. Having dinner with my family, almost all of whom are here, on a weeknight. You know, this is my 24th year at Fox 5, and when we have dinner together on a weeknight, it's because I've taken vacation. Eric, do I have to take vacation for this? Yes? Okay. The evening news is not the ideal schedule, obviously, for a family circumstance, and yet somehow I have the ideal family. And it's not a mystery to me at all why that's the case. It's because I have the ideal wife. Please, Issa, I love you very much. I'm amazed at how you've held us all together for all these years, and I'm a very lucky man. I'd like to acknowledge my fellow inductees tonight. I'm honored to be in your number, no question about that, and especially my colleague, Morse Diggs, who's been breaking stories at City Hall since the Ivan Allen administration. Has there ever been a case where a guy got the gold circle the year after he got the silver circle? Not that you look like you just keep on ticking, Morse, and I hope we're together for many more years to come. This is a night, I think, when many of us are reflecting on how we got started in the business. For me, it was 35 years ago this month, WDAU-TV Channel 22 on Lackawanna Avenue in Scranton, Pennsylvania. In a converted department store, a windowless office, Tom Powell offered me a job making less than my senior year tuition at Princeton, and I wanted to kiss him. I resisted the temptation, but as I drove 2 hours home to Philadelphia, I was shouting alone in my car the entire time, mostly curse words, as I recall, and not just exclamations, gerunds, verb forms, participial phrases. I got them out of my system, I suppose. And then I woke to the realization that I had no idea how to be on television. I was an English major. I had no Grady News Source training. So how did I learn to be a reporter? It was guys like Tony Light and guys like David Brooks. The names are right there. Joe Butash, Don Perry, Jimmy Keenan, David Jones. Very generously and patiently taught me how to be a reporter, and I will be in their debt forever. Taya pointed out that this is, a village kind of business. I think of it as a team, same idea. Most of the team is not on the field in the spotlight. A lot of them don't want to be in the spotlight, but it doesn't get done if the whole team doesn't play. And I've been the beneficiary, I realize, as an anchor, it's the sort of the front person of all this, of a lot of other people's really good work, and I appreciate it more than I can say. If you don't mind, if you'll indulge me, I just want to acknowledge my family, some of which have come a long distance here. My daughter, Allie, who's given us 3 grandsons, Navy family. She came from Annapolis, is going back tomorrow morning. She and I met when she was 6 years old in Guatemala City. I went there after Scranton to try to learn Spanish and maybe be a foreign correspondent, and then I met her mom, and I was like, oh my God, that's a much better deal than being a foreign correspondent. And with her older sister, it was Paula, who can't be here, it was a package deal and the best deal that I ever made, no question about that. Eddie, maybe you're familiar with this Spanish expression. I think it actually comes from the Talmud, that children bring their loaf of bread with them. Every child brings a loaf of bread with them. And that was our case. Maria came very quickly, and she got us a job in Denver. And she went home from the hospital to a residence inn. 2 years later, Danny got us this job here in Daniela, got us this job here in Atlanta. And she came home from the hospital to a residence inn in Sandy Springs. Kind of the nature of the business. Now, by 1998, Stephen came along, and we were so glad to finally have a son. He didn't bring any bread, but we didn't care. We were just glad to have a son. Thank you for being here, son, very much. And Ella brought her bread, too, later on. So we have 6. And after all the colleges in these 20 years and cell phones and everything else, there's no more bread left. But it doesn't really matter, because nobody eats bread anymore. Am I right? Lastly, I'd like to acknowledge my in-laws who are here, Marta and Guzman Aguilar. They retired in Spain, would come and visit a lot, and finally in 2009 they stayed. And Glenn, you'll appreciate this. It was September of 2009, and they arrived, and it started to rain. And then it rained some more. And then the next day it rained, and the day after that it rained. My in-laws came to live in the United States and brought with them a 1,000-year flood on the Chattahoochee River. We apologize, but I love you. I don't know what we would do if you weren't here with us. We love you very much. Te amo, Marta. I was debating whether to bring this up because it's a little sad and I'm going too long, but we've had a sad week. A week ago today, our beloved golden retriever passed away, and I know most of you have been through this. Our dogs just don't live long enough. And my wife has informed me that I'm not allowed. She's not really a dog person, but she's been very long-suffering as we've had animal after animal. She said, "You are not allowed to have another animal until you retire so you can take care of it." Well, sweetheart, now that I got this fine hardware, the only thing I can say is, don't tempt me. Thank you very much, folks. Thank you tonight.